إنما يخشى الله من عباده العلماء.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا. من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، ونصلي ونسلم على سيدنا وحبيبنا نبي الرحمة محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعه بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. آمين. وبعد, we are going inshallah today, June 7th, 2026, and the 22nd of the Hijjah, 1447 of the Hijrah of Habib al-Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wasallam. On the, we'll start the lesson number or class number 27. In the last class, we talked about the sections of the Sunnah that people look at, and we talked about the first one, which looked at Sunnah in regards to the ways it was narrated. So we said there is mutawatir, and there is mashhur, and there is the mashhur, the famous, the mutawatir, the mass transmitted, and the ahad. And we said that the ahad forms like 95% of the hadith that came to us. And we said why? Because the life of Rasulullah is the life of a human who walks and talks with people. Sometimes he is with one of the companions, sometimes he is with three, sometimes he is with his wife, sometimes he talks to all his wives together, sometimes he is talking to, like in Hajjat al-Wada', to all of the Muslims in Hajj, like 2,000 or 3,000. It's a life, it's 23 years. So that's why the hadith came in different numbers of people related. So Ahl Sunnah's madhab, which is the correct and the logical madhab, is that if hadith meets the category of being the narrators are الحديث الصحيح, which is نقل السند المتصل, the chain is continuous, there is no break in the chain, and of course there are different types of break, and there is a missing, sometimes not a break, but sometimes it is in terms of a missing, the break is a missing person, and this missing person can be the Sahabi himself. So one of the Tabi'in said, Rasulullah said so. We know that he didn't meet Rasulullah because he is Tabi'i, he is follower of the Sahaba. So we know that the Sahabi is missing, which is called Mursal, the sent. This person sent it to Rasulullah directly, not Rasulullah. Sometimes the break in one of the chains after the Sahabi, Tabi'i or Tabi'i. Sometimes the break happens because one of them is not trustworthy enough to be sahih. Some of them about his al-hifz, his memory. نقل الحافظ الثقة. الحافظ is a person who his memory is like a recorder. حافظ, he remembers. الثقة means he's trustworthy. The chain is continuous to Rasulullah without any illah, without any illah means something that inherited in the hadith that makes it not correct. And this العلة هنا, there are a lot of علة. This is a whole, but all this is the subject of مصطلح الحديث. But here only in usool we say that the hadith al-ahad is if it meets in the sunnah this category, these categories, these criteria, then it is hadith sahih, and it is accepted in both aqidah and action. Some said, well, no, there has to be distinction between the mass transmitted and the single transmitted hadith. It has to be. They said logically there has to be. Of course, the logic they follow is a logic that is dictated by the Greeks' logic and stuff, and only as a product of their own scale that they scale things with. Yeah, if we talk about other things, maybe there is a difference between this and that, but in terms of our sunnah, we say, well, but we have proofs that the hadith came to us from a single person is accepted. Why? Because first of all, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala send the prophets one by one. He didn't send like 3 or 5 or mass. Otherwise, if it is not hujjah, if it's not accepted and iqamat al-hujjah, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, hujjah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was not established on human beings. That finishes the whole argument, actually. It closes it. It puts the dot at the end of the sentence. But moreover, Rasulullah used to send his messenger one by one to Caesar or the Tsar, or the Kisra, or the kings, or to the tribes, to teach them. They might tell him, how do we know? You are only coming. Mu'az ibn Jabal, when he went to Yemen. So we established that this is not the Sahaba, they accepted, and we mentioned that last time, accepted hadith, many hadith from one person. Like when Umar accepted the hadith of Abdurrahman ibn Auf, Muhammad ibn Muslim. And when also all the big Sahaba in the day of Saqifa, when they went and after Wafat Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, when they went to Saqifa, to this place where they are going to get to elect someone to be the Khalifa of Rasulullah, they all, when Abu Bakr said, Ansar said he has to be one of us, and the Muhajira said one of us. So Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anh said, I heard Rasulullah said, Al-a'immatu min Quraysh. The Imams has to be from Quraysh. So they all submitted to him. They didn't say, oh, you are only one who said, no. So Ansar said, okay, that's it, we accept. Why? Because he's Abu Bakr. Who is trustworthy more than Abu Bakr? And who can be more Hafiz Hadith Rasulullah more than Abu Bakr? It doesn't matter one or not. So that's what we mentioned last time, and I just repeated it because it's so important. Some of the people, Mubtadi'ah, like in Mu'tazila, said it is accepted only in Ahkam. Some said it is not accepted at all. And these are the follower of Mu'tazila in the modern times. They said, no, we don't accept it in this or that. So they are out of Sunnah completely. And also another type, which we are going to talk about, those who said, no, we don't accept Sunnah altogether, even Mashhur, even Mutawatir. That's a third people. So, third group. So those who said we accept it in rules, we rule whatever rules, whatever ahkam, if the hadith ahad there, we accept it, but we don't accept it in aqidah. That's why Mu'tazila did not refuse the sirat, they refused the mizan, the scale, they refused the hawd of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. They refused lots of the things like the bridge, the scale, the basin, the hawd, the shafa'a, the intercession, punishment in the grave, all these things. So we mentioned that. This happened, why? Because they wanted to find a way to get out of the Sunnah, because they don't like the hadith, they don't like to understand that there will be a basin. They don't like to. So how can they do? They refuse something like this. They come up with this idea of hadith al-dhanni, hadith al-qat'i. You know, the dhanni hadith and the qat'i is a definitive hadith, and the non-definitive hadith, the dhanni. That's why also Sahaba, Tabi'in, they came up with the sanad. They came up with the sanad, and the sanad, like Ibn Sirin said, لم يكونوا يسألون عن إسناد. The people before us, which is the Sahaba, the older followers, and the Sahaba, because Ibn Sirin tabi'i, kabir, tabi'i al-Sahaba. The Sahaba, they never asked about the chain, because there was no bad people. Everybody was good. But when al-fitna happened, fitna means the bid'ah, the interaction with the people in Basra and Kufa, and started the ilm al-kalam, and all this started when the fitna happened. We said, name your people. When you tell me hadith, name your people. And that was the start of the chain of al-hadith, an. Before that, nobody cared about in this good 10, like after Wafat Rasulullah, like maybe 15, 20 years after that. Then started later that they said name your men for us. And that actually make us understand why Mu'tazila did that, because they put what they call intellect or logic or analog or something before the text. They put the aql before shara, and that helps them to overcome this bridge. We Ahl Sunnah, we don't do that. We say, if the nas is sahih, it's correct, have these categories, it's done. It's sahih. We accept what it is, because that's how humans talk and deal with speech in general. So on another note, the action of Rasulullah, when we talk about Sunnah in general, the action of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam is a proof of absolute permission. Absolute permission, it means that it is not a specific permission. It's absolute, it's not specific. That means it can be obligatory, it can be recommended and it can be permissible. When Rasulullah do something, we're not talking about saying speech, we're talking about the act of Rasulullah. Now we talk about the act. The act of Rasulullah, if we saw Rasulullah do something, it can mean any of these, either obligatory or recommended or permissible. And how do fuqaha know which one? By the other side proofs. If there is a proof from outside this action that tells us it is obligatory, like we see Rasulullah making Salat al-Fajr, Subh, or al-Dhuhr. We know that Salat al-Fajr it is obligatory, not because we saw him do it, no, because he said, Sallu kama artum usalli, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala aqimu salah. There are many proofs that it is obligatory. So, Salah, Siyam, how Siyam is, he actually told us, do it by saying, do it according to what I am doing. So, we know that the action of Rasulullah here means obligatory. Sometimes his action only to recommend or to like show that it is not recommended. It's makruh. It's like hated to be done. You know. So if it is tahrim, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he never did the as muharramat, like أعوذ بالله من ذلك, يعني like adultery or stealing so we know but also there are things that he when he talked about, when he did or see something happens, his action tells us that he doesn't like it, you know, like the singing of the Jariyah, these two Jariyah, they were singing. They were singing to the women, of course. So he heard them from the place of his women, and he just didn't listen. He just أعرض عنهم, يعني he left. He didn't continue to pay attention to what they are saying. Although the singing of the two Jariyah, it wasn't music, just only singing poems and stuff like that. To the women, there is nothing wrong about it. It's lahu mubah. It's permissible entertainment. But Rasulullah did not do that because he doesn't want to listen to women that are not halal for him singing. So this is a level of it's not makruh, because we can't say that it's hated by Rasulullah. No, it is a level of mubah which is called marfu' raf' al-haraj. We talked in mubah that there are different levels of mubah. This is raf' al-haraj. Raf' al-haraj means, yes, you can do it, but I'm not going to do it. Raf' al-haraj, that means it is not muharram, it is not hated, but it is not this level of mubah where everybody can do normal, and no. It is marfu' al-haraj. You want to do it, but you know, this kind of lahu al-mubah. If you leave it, it's okay. You are following Rasulullah, but there is nothing that is. If women hear this, al-jawari يسمعوا some women singing and stuff, like in weddings and stuff like that, they hear women singing without music or anything. That's nothing wrong with it. It's مرفوع عنه الحرج. It's مباح في درجة رفع الحرج. هذا this type of رفع الحرج, of permissible, by lifting the lifting the رفع الحرج means in English like lifting the hesitation of doing it. And it's like it's better to, like I said, better to be left out. So why this can happen? There are different reasons. One of them maybe Rasul Salam, he left it because of his inherited nature doesn't like it, like eating the lizards. He left the Sahaba. Some of the Sahaba was on his table, they eat it, but he didn't touch it. He said he just didn't touch it. This is like kind of a natural disposition of Rasul Salam. We can have natural disposition as well of some things. Like myself, I never eat the broccoli. I have natural disposition of eating the broccoli. But I can't say that people who eat it, they commit haram. So it is normal way of leaving things, and it cannot be a bid'ah, like bid'ah tarkiyah, like we are going when we talk about the lift out. This type of bid'ah is bid'ah al-fa'liyah, when you do bid'ah or you leave something. Of course, when you do something bid'ah or to leave something, it becomes bid'ah. So this is one reason. Also, you can leave things because you want to do something better. So some people or some of your group or something, they are doing some entertainment or this kind of thing, and you say, oh, excuse me, I'm not going to just excuse me, I'll go and I want to read something, or I want to look at something, other things. I want to do something that is better than mubah, maybe mandub, maybe recommended, so I get some thawab, whatever. So it can be tark for that. But we can't say that whatever they are doing, sitting in front of the ocean or walking in the garden or in parks or something, it's haram. No, it's not. Unless everything you do is walking in parks. That's, of course, it's kind of a crazy thing. But anyways, we are going to talk about this point, because this point is not a joke. It's true. How much stretch you can do something mubah until it becomes not mubah. Also, you can Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam maybe has left out some things in order to avoid a bigger haram, a bigger bad, or to achieve a maslahah. Like he left killing the munafiqeen, although he knew them by name. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him one by one, but he didn't kill them, he just left them, because they didn't do something zahir, apparent, that everybody can see. So two subjects here, two reasons that he left it without killing them. First, he has to work, he has to teach the followers and teach the humanity and teach us that we do things according to the apparent, not to what we think. Because somebody come and kill some guy, said, well, I think he was a munafiq. You cannot do that. He didn't do something. You didn't see that he is a munafiq. Maybe there are many acts that are confusing and subtle, but this subtle doesn't work with killing munafiqeen. It has to be completely apparent. Of course, when we talk about that, we're not talking about those people who publish articles or come on TV or something, and his name is Muhammad Abdul Rahim or Ali Abu Bakr or whatever Muslim name, and say, oh, I am a Muslim, and then he come on TV or write an article that I don't accept Sunnah, I don't do that, I don't accept the hadd of ridda, I don't accept that the leashing of the leash of the adulteress. Then this has committed an apparent act that supersedes whatever his name is and whatever he announced, and we can say calmly and very confident way that this guy is a kafir, 100%, because committing the kufr cannot be with having Islam together. Maybe somebody said, okay, why don't you consider that he is a Muslim and you forgo the whatever he did kufr? We say no, because if there is a doubt in this kufr, but if the kufr is, there is no doubt about it, and one kufr happen, it overtakes like 100 Islamic things that he's doing. If he's doing everything correct, and he goes and cut the Quran and throw it away, or said, I don't take anything from that prophet called Muhammad. It's one thing, but he is doing everything correct. So this leaving actions can be for that reason. You know, when Rasulullah said he wants to rebuild the Kaaba, but he didn't do it. Why? He said, because I'm afraid if I do that, the people who are still very new to Islam, they said, oh, he already destroyed his most holy place. So that's why he never rebuilt the Kaaba. He wanted to rebuild the Kaaba. Of course, rebuild the foundation, nobody can take it out, because this is Qawaid Ibrahim wa Ismail. He means the blocks that on top to renew it. So what we do is, when we see Rasulullah sallallahu in Sunnah did something or act or leave something, didn't do it, we have to look at the accompanied circumstances, the circumstantial evidence that comes with it, that actually determines the level of halal or haram, permissible or forbidden, or of this action. What happens then if the saying of Rasul Sallallahu, if the saying of Rasul matches what he did? That's of course then there is no doubt it has to be done. There is no question about it. Like he says Salah, and he did the Salah. He says the Sawm, and he did the Sawm. All the haram and the obligatory, the action, there is no contradiction between action and that. But there are some other things when the saying of Rasul alayhi salam does not come in match with something he said otherwise in other places, or in the same place, but it has a story behind it. Like some of Sahaba came to Rasulullah sallallahu, and he said, can I lie to my wife? So Rasulullah sallallahu said, there is no good in lying. No good in lying. So he didn't say no, you can't lie to her. He said there is no good in lying. So in general, there is no good in lying, and that's completely true. Lying inheritedly bad, right? But when it comes to the wife, he didn't give the final and exact and specific, as he said, لا خير في الكذب. There is no good in lying. So the guy said, the companion said, can I promise her, like promise her things and I don't do it and I intend not to do it? Just yeah, I'll get you this thing, or I will do this for this thing, and in your mind, go away. It's not going to happen. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, لا جناح عليك. He didn't say that's permissible for you. He said لا جناح عليك, which is the type of مباح رفع الجناح, lifting of the burden. He lifts the burden. رفع الجناح means lifting the burden. So there's no burden in you to do that, which is, like we said, if you don't do it, it's better. And Rasulullah sallam never did that with his wives, ever. He never did it. But you can do it, and there is other hadith of that الكذب حرام إلا في ثلاث. So this is a note about the match between the fi'l of Rasulullah, the types of the fi'l Rasulullah, the type of the Rasulullah, what he left not doing, tark, leaving of an action, and the matching between the action and the saying. Now this ends the part of the first section of Sunan, where we classify it according to the chain. Now the second one is classifying the Sunnah relating to in relation to the rules and principles in Quran, and this is so important. There are three types of Sunnah here. When we look at Sunnah related to Quran itself, there is Sunnah Sunnah al-Muqarrara, the confirmed Sunnah. What is the Sunnah al-Muqarrara? Is it whatever matches the what comes in Quran. It repeats what comes in Quran, like wujub as-salah, the obligatory of the obligation of the salah, of the siyam, the forbidden of to forbid the shirk or kufr, the iman, the pillars of the iman, the good or the greatest types of mu'min, the worst types of the kuffar. These are confirmed in Quran and Sunnah. These are confirmed when it comes to when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam talks about this. He is confirming a Sunnah that actually came in Quran, so it matches the Quran. There's nothing new about it. The third type of Sunnah is the elaborative Sunnah. Elaborative Sunnah means the Sunnah that details a rule in Quran. Quran came, it said, وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةِ. How much is the zakah of different things? Sunnah comes. This is called elaborative Sunnah al-Mufassila, that details, like how we pray, the Allahu Akbar and Ruku' and Sujood. It didn't come in Quran, but it came in Sunnah Mufassila. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in this type of Sunnah, he does not establish a rule. He details how to do the ruling of the Quran. He details it, like in halal and haram. The Quran said, حرمت عليكم الميتة والدم ولحم الخنزير. Rasul sallam said, two types of dead, two types of blood that are halal, that exempt from this. الكبد والطحال, the blood of the كبد والطحال, and the samak and the jarad, this fly, الجراد, the fish and the jarad. So these two types of dam and two types of maita. So this is sunnah mufassila. The original rule is the Quran, and Rasulullah made details. The third type of sunnah, which has been badly treated and wrongfully taken by many people, either because of their juhal or their mubtadi'a or the kuffar or whatever the type, that as-sunnah al-munshi'ah, the legislative or establishing sunnah. This is where Rasulullah ﷺ establishes a new rule. It is not in the Quran. It is not in the Quran. It is not elaborative, and it is not confirmative or confirmatory. It's a legislative or establishing new sunnah. Like what? Like Rasulullah made tahrim, prohibition of dhahab and fidda on men. Men cannot wear gold or silver. It has nothing. Or al-harir, libs al-harir, wearing harir on men. This has nothing to do with Quran at all. To eat any ذوي الناب, the animal that eats meat or fangs, possess fangs. These are, Rasulullah said, they are haram to eat. It's not in Quran. It's not in Quran. Here you go. Rasulullah sallallahu in the Sunnah, establishing Sunnah, like we said. That's why we said before that the Sunnah, the establishing Sunnah can establish the obligatory, can establish recommended, can establish mubah, establish makruh, and can hated, not recommended, or establish the prohibited. All of them. This is establishing Sunnah or legislative Sunnah. Now, why this is very important? Because what we know now, what happened now, is that some people, actually it's not new. Some people they call themselves al-Quraniyun, the people of the Quran, that they completely refused Quran. They said, completely refused Sunnah. He said, we have Quran. Like Qazzafi, la'natullah alayh. He said, Sunnah, we don't take Sunnah, we only take Quran. So that means that there is no salah except in the morning, one in the morning, and one in the evening, only two. And also, we don't know how to do it. We can say, I am making salah to you, Allah, now, and khalas, it's finished. Because we don't know, Rasulullah, how it happened, it's in Sunnah. So that's why Umar, from the time of Umar, he said, there will people who will come to you and they will argue with you with the mutashabih, the likes of the Quran, mutashabih of the Quran. So answer them with the Sunnah, answer them with Hadith. She said, Umar said, answer them with Hadith. فخذوهم بالأحاديث فإن أصحاب السنن أعلم بكتاب الله. The people of Sunnah who memorize, I know what the Sunnah of Rasulullah, they know what Kitab Allah means, and they know what Kitab Allah wants to be done. So that's at the time of Umar. Of course, there is hadith mawdu', they put it is whatever comes to you from Sunnah, just match it to Quran. If you find it there, do it. If you don't, leave it, because I cannot make anything or do anything that is not matching Quran. Even the language in Arabic of that so-called hadith is not the language of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's very raqiq, very weak language. So and also in Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala established وَأَطِيعُوا اللَّهَ وَأَطِيعُوا الرَّسُولَ, a different طاعة لله and طاعة الرسول. وَأُولِي الْأَمْرِ مِنْكُمْ. أولي الأمر, the rulers, or your guide or your Khalifa or Amir, with واو الإضافة. So we follow them إضافة إلى الرسول, in relation to what Rasulullah said, not separate. طاعة الرسول separate. وأطيعوا الله وأطيعوا الرسول. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said وأطيعوا ذو الأمر منكم. No, he said وأطيعوا الله وأطيعوا الرسول وأولي الأمر منكم. So طاعة أولي الأمر هذا for the كفار المداخلة. طاعة أولي الأمر is relative to طاعة الرسول, but طاعة الرسول is separate. الرسول can make سنة مقررة, can establish a sunnah, he can confirm a sunnah, and he can elaborate on a sunnah, overrule of Quran. So there are hadith that came, like hadith Jabir. He said لا ألفين أحدكم متكئا على أريكته يأتيه الأمر من أمري بما أمرت به أو نهيت عنه فيقول لا أدري ما وجدنا في كتاب الله تبعناه. Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم said في حديث جابر, I don't want to see one of you laying down on his couch and say, oh, whatever comes from Rasulullah, I'm going to compare to what's in Quran. Whatever comes in Quran, I'll take it. He said, I don't want to see one of you doing this. And he said في حديث أبو داود والترمذي ألا إني أوتيت الكتاب ومثله معه. I have given the book and a like of the book with it, which is الكتابة والحكمة. That's why people say, مفسرون say الكتابة, when it comes in Quran وأتيناه الكتابة والحكمة, الحكمة is the sunnah. الكتاب is الكتاب والحكمة is the sunnah. Rasulullah said, I was given the kitab ومثله معه, and the like of it with it as well. So some scholars of Al-Sunnah said, well, but we can find the origin of everything in the in Quran. If was not text, is for reference to it, or a subtle thing. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for instance, said قال أحل لكم الطيبات وأحل لهم الطيبات وحرم عليهم الخبائث. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He made for you all the طيبات, all the good things halal, permissible, and made all the bad things for you are prohibited. What are the good things and the bad things? Rasulullah said, oh, this is good, this is bad, this is good. So this ayah comes under تحليل الطيبات, made the طيبات halal and made the خبائث haram, made the bad things prohibited and made the good things permissible and to be done, obligatory or recommended. So like Rasulullah sallallahu when he made tahrim of the fangs of the animals that have fangs, or predators of other animals and stuff like that. So that's So those of Ahl Sunnah who said that everything has a backup in the Quran from this kind of very general statement in Quran that Allah made every good thing is halal and made every bad thing is haram. And that's how this is being dealt with in this level of Sunnah. So when we talk about those Quraniyun, it's a very old bid'ah, بدعة مكفرة. It's not a بدعة like بدعة، لأن البدعة can be بدعة معصية أو بدعة كفر. This is بدعة كفر. Those are كفار خارجون عن الدين. لا يحل الصلاة وراءهم ولا يحل نكاح. It's not halal to pray with them or to eat their ذبيحة or to marry from them. حرام. They are كفار 100%. So having said that, inshallah, we will come back in the lesson or class number 28. We will start with ijma' at the time. We will go over bid'ah very fast and then we'll start ijma' inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.